So this is our final assembly, euphemistically called string up area. It's a simple name that we give to a complex series of steps, but it's the final 3 days of our process. The guitars have been 22 to maybe 26, 28 days of production time in process now, and we're just about to finish them up here. On the first day we're going to do the assembly. We're actually going to, all that painstakingly applied, hand-rubbed, hand-buffed finish that we put on the guitars, we're going to route it out from underneath the bridge so that we can glue the bridge and the fingerboard extension directly to the top of the instrument. We're going to let that cure overnight. And then on the second day we're going to sand out the fingerboard first with the machine and then by hand, and then make sure the fingerboard, the playing surface is dead level as much as we can possibly make it before we hand pound in the fret wire. Then we're going to bevel, level, crown and polish the fret wire. Polish the frets, install the electronics, and do any inlay work that's necessary on that day before finally putting on the nut, saddle, tuners, and strings and stringing the guitar up to concert pitch. We're going to let it hang overnight in bags to protect it from dust, and then on the third day of our process we're going to do what's called the dial-in. We're going to adjust the action, we're going to play every note, we're going to make sure there's no sharp edges on anything, we're going to test the electronics and do any touch-up work to the buffing that we need to as a result of our carelessness or anything else that might have happened to the guitar. And finally it's going to go over to our final inspector, and he's going to make sure that the thing plays perfectly, and then it specs out as a Breedlove before it goes off to our customers. Right here Ian's just checking the final frets up over the body just to make sure that there's no high frets anywhere. He's using a diamond file now to grind down any little minutely high spots. This is going to allow you to play all the way up and down the neck with no chance of hearing a high or buzzing fret that's caused by the string touching the fret in front of the one that you're playing on. It's a pretty crucial step to ensure that every note plays true and that you get a nice pure sound out of every note on the guitar. After he gets done leveling all the tops of the frets, he's going to go back and dress all the ends of the frets too, and take all the sharp corners off the fret wire so that when you slide your hand up and down the neck as you're shifting positions, you're not going to feel a bunch of those sharp fret ends. This is one of those little extra steps that you may not get on a mass-produced guitar, but on a custom-built instrument like this, it's going to really kind of make the difference. Gary Flaherty is here, and he's just about to assemble the Mark I chambered electric guitar with this gloriously figured redwood top. Gary's our longest tenured employee, and he's mixing up carefully a batch of epoxy resin, which he's going to apply to the interior of the mortise of this electric guitar. And then he's going to put the tenon in there, and we use a single bolt to draw the two parts together real tightly so that there's no gaps around the seam. This is going to provide a lifetime attachment for this guitar and a really, really strong and also acoustically very pure coupling between the body and the neck. You can see Gary's inserting the bolt that's there just essentially to act as a clamp to draw the mortise and tenon joint together. He's applied the epoxy, which is going to provide any sort of gap filling if there's a minute gap, but also it's the strongest resin out there, strongest glue that we have. He's drawing the neck into the body using this bolt, and then he's going to apply a series of clamps and a caul over the fingerboard to ensure that we have a nice tight joint all the way around the neck and fingerboard extension on our Mark I chambered electric. Every guitar we make that sports the Breedlove logo, whether it's produced here in Tumalo or started in our factory in Korea, comes here to Tumalo and is quality controlled in this factory before it's shipped on to our eventual customers and owners. One of the unique design features of every Breedlove guitar is the bridge truss. This patented device relieves the top of the torsional load that the strings place upon the top, and also helps transfer a little bit of the energy of the soundboard to the back and sides of the instrument through a small rod that is in contact with the tail block. It's very important that the tension on this device is properly maintained, And so Aiden's just feeling to make sure that you can spin the rod ever so slightly before tuning the guitar back up to concert pitch. He's just fitted the guitar with a refitted saddle to make sure that the guitar is going to play at the proper action. Our man Aiden Kelly is beginning the quality control process here of a Breedlove Atlas Series guitar. He's going to go through at least 15 steps to ensure that the guitar looks, feels, sounds, and plays just like you would expect every Breedlove. And that is to say that it looks beautiful, it sounds great, it plays wonderfully and comes to hand easily. And then it's got the soul of a Breedlove. That's most important.